Thank you for coming. 5 years ago, we broke ground for this wonderful new museum and visitor center with the hope of reaching millions of visitors and inspiring and exciting them about their past and helping them understand how Gettysburg is very relevant in their lives today. 5 years later, as we stand here near the entrance, where those millions of visitors begin their Gettysburg experience, we are pleased to announce a different kind of achievement. Of not only Gettysburg, but of our environment as we welcome future generations of visitors. I am pleased to announce today that the Gettysburg National Military Park Museum and Visitor Center has been awarded LEED Gold certification, established by the United States Green Building Council. The LEED program, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, is the foremost program of design, construction, and operation of green buildings that will set new standards for the future. I am even more pleased to announce that we are the first museum in Pennsylvania to be awarded such certification, and only the fourth in the entire nation. As the Gettysburg Foundation continues its unprecedented partnership with the National Park Service, we could not be more pleased that Gettysburg, a place of such sacrifice, honor, and bravery, has also taken a leading role in preserving our environment. The many architects, engineers, and construction firms who worked on this project are to be commended on this achievement. This was a team effort of which we can all be proud. The work of this team is not yet complete. Under the leadership of Brian Schaefer, we will continue monitoring and striving to improve our energy conservation efforts. Representing this group is one who has been most involved with the gold certification along with his team, and that is the project's lead architect, Rob Kinsley. Rob will give you many of the details of how we achieved such a significant designation. Rob?
Thank you. It was a great privilege to be the architect on this project. And while designers give options on how to get to where we have, the real thanks and the credit goes to both the Gettysburg Foundation and the National Park Service for their commitment to sustainability. Like all things here in Gettysburg, special effort is needed to balance preservation of history with our more contemporary priorities. And making this museum green was no exception. Let me explain. This site, which is just right for reasons of preservation, it's in the park boundary, it's close to major interpretive points, it saw no battle action, and its topography allowed us to build this great facility without interrupting the viewshed of the battlefield. But this is not an urban site with existing infrastructure and is in many ways a greenfield site. Secondly, museums are not by their nature energy efficient. They typically use a lot of energy to preserve their important collections. In this case, one of the largest collections of Civil War artifacts. And yet, as it was said, this is only the fourth museum in the United States to be awarded LEED Gold certification. How? We had to work very hard to take everything that was within our control and do it just right. On the site, we had to touch down very lightly. We had to provide the smallest footprint possible to get credit. We had to save and restore wetlands. We had to control stormwater runoff and use part of it to recharge those wetlands. And we had to use native landscaping. Water. This project uses over 30% less water than the average museum. Very important in Adams County. Materials. Endless hours were spent researching and sourcing local and regional materials for this project. And we went well and above the U.S. Green Building Council's threshold of 50% local materials to be awarded exemplary performance in this area. And lastly, but certainly not least, is energy. This museum uses a highly efficient building envelope and one of the East Coast's largest geothermal systems to use over less than 50% of the energy used by the average museum. And of the energy that is used, 50% of that comes from renewable wind energy through the existing grid. As it was said, this was a huge group effort. And again, I applaud the Gettysburg Foundation and the National Park Service for their commitment to society.